Hey everybody, good morning or good afternoon by the time this thing actually gets posted. I know I haven't done videos so far this week. It's been a pretty busy week. Yesterday was just a crazy day. Oh my goodness, it was a crazy day. But I did want to do a video just to sum up my reaction to President Trump's, I guess, Congress address, State of the Union, you call it whatever you will. And, I just have to say I absolutely loved it. I loved the amount of force that he put behind it because I remember when he did his inauguration speech, it was a good speech. Don't get me wrong, it was a really good speech, but he didn't have nearly as much force behind it as I really wanted him to have. It's like, dude, this is Rocky too. I need just as much force behind every speech you give. And he didn't do that for the inauguration. It was a great speech. However, the force just wasn't there. And so leading up to this speech, I just wanted go in there and be the guy we know you are. Okay. Don't pull back. Don't go in there and be softer spoken the way that you were with the inauguration. No. Okay. The second you took office, the second that you got in there, all these problems with the mayors, with some of the Democrat governors, obviously with the Congress, Jasmine Crockett, her ghetto behind, whether she's faking it or not, just absolutely ridiculous. These Democrats, they just are so irritating. But when it came to this speech, you guys, oh my goodness, I was clapping, I was loving it. I thought, this was just an incredible opportunity for conservatives and the America First agenda to really, list out some of the wins. I've been looking at a lot of these reactions from just everyday voters, people who've always voted Democrat, having voted Republican for the first time for the presidency, and they're thrilled about what it is that they're actually seeing. They're thrilled. They say they want to know where the taxes are going. They're finding that out, that they want something to be done about the border. They're seeing that happen, and they're seeing an exposure of the Democrat Party. And really, that's what the speech was, right? I'm doing everything in my power, in the power of the government, to make sure that you, the people, come first. And that's exactly what they're getting. And that's exactly what the speech was. Fox held a poll asking the people what exactly do they want to hear from this speech. Do they want to hear about Ukraine and Russia? Do they want to hear about the tariffs against other countries, or do they want to focus more so on Doge? And it came back that most people just wanted to hear about Doge, what they're doing, what they're up to. I was not thrilled to see Elon Musk. I don't know how I feel about this guy. I just don't like him. It's like I'm smiling and cheering, and then every time they cut the camera to Elon Musk, I'm just not happy. Like, stop showing him. It's killing my mood. I'm not thrilled with this at all. But from the beginning, guys, from the moment he got up there and started, it was just like, thank you. It was a great speech, but then the Democrats, one of the Democrats stands up and he's being ridiculous to the point where the guy has to come and remove them. Like, you got to be removed from the House floor because you don't know how to act. They have their paddles. One of them said, "This is not normal." It's like, you're right. It isn't normal. It's not normal for you to be standing there with this sign and you thought that was going to add to your favor. This is going to be a meme one day and it's going to be not in your favor. It's like, that's what this is going to be. But there are a few moments that I did want to speak to specifically. Number one, when he spoke about what Doge had found, talking about the Social Security circumstances, for example, that we have somebody in the system that's up to the age of 350 years old, who's 360 years old. I mean, seriously? First of all, okay, if you're over 300 years old, you're living like Noah of the ark, right? Like, that's a long time to be alive. You're older than the damn country, excuse my French, but you're older than the country. You're here long before Social Security was even a thing, and yet you're 300 something years old and you're on Social Security. You had a whole extra 100 years, okay, 100 and change years to make something out of yourself, and you're on Social Security. If anything, that should be suspicious if this person is a real person. That's the first thing. How they got the system to even admit someone that old into the system and nobody caught this beforehand. It's like, yeah, I think we're fighting a lot of fraud here. And, people are saying that this could be worse than the Watergate situation. And I just thought this was hilarious. And then he turns to Bobby Kennedy and says, maybe people are healthier than I thought. And it was absolutely hilarious. He was funny. He was, rough, which is exactly what I wanted. It's, I can stand here, I could say all the wonderful things, right? I could say that I found a cure to some of the most deadly diseases that are created to harm countries and destroy countries, and they still won't stand for that. And that obviously came across very well last night, on the day of the speech, right? I mean, he talks about Laken Riley's family. They're there. They don't stand up for that. A 13-year-old boy who says he wants to be a police officer, a survivor of brain cancer. They can't stand for him in achieving his dreams, but Trump makes him an honorary Secret Service agent. You saw that the young man who was going to high school, he was doing very well. He has over a 4.0 GPA, wants to go to West Point, wants to be a part of the military. everybody gets excited about that, including the Supreme Court justices, and they don't stand for that. I mean, you saw America First make dreams come true in that speech. You saw how strong we were. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but if you're a millennial, you grew up being told that milk makes you stronger. Okay, well, I'm here to happy to tell you guys, we drinking milk. All right, we drinking milk because Trump's got a backbone that we just have never seen with Joe Biden. Okay, not only can he get through a sentence clearly, but he's making it very clear that my people, my country comes first. And the Democrats can't stand for that. The only thing that they get excited about, the only thing that they cheer for, is that we sent billions of dollars that are unaccounted for to Ukraine. They want the war to continue, and that should be suspicious. Okay, they don't stand for their own people. They don't want to defend their own people. They don't want to put Americans first. They want to prioritize illegals. They want to prioritize criminality. Trump talks about the police force, saying that we have to respect our police. They do a lot of work for the people, keeping us safe. I mean, huge reason why we have civility, the miracle of civility, is because we have a police force in America, and he wants to give them protections. Of course, they can't be excited about that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I tell you, I was so excited about this speech, and I just wanted him to go in there and not be afraid. Obviously, he's not afraid, but don't shy away. Do exactly, be the person that we know you are. He calls Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. It's like, yes, say it. Say it, man. Say that these are who they are. They will never cheer for nothing. They don't cheer for Bobby Kennedy. Look how fast they're willing to turn on you, right? You're a Kennedy, for goodness sakes. You're a Kennedy. You've always been a Democrat. You were an independent candidate. They couldn't back you on that. And now here you are trying to make America healthy again because this young man who survived brain cancer, we're finding that what used to be 1 in 10,000 is now 1 out of every 36 children are getting cancer. Why is that? RFK wants to get to the bottom of that, and you can't cheer for that. You're questioning that with your stupid paddles. Really? Really? This speech was forceful. He was funny. He made it clear. There's only one thing that I didn't, well, two things, I should say, I didn't really care too much about. The voyage to Mars. I don't care about going to Mars until you can terraform the planet. I don't care about it, okay? You can't go outside and ride a bike, okay? If you're a cigar smoker, you can't go outside and smoke cigars because there is no oxygen on that planet, okay? You just can't survive outside of the astronaut suit. So I don't really care too much about Mars. I get it, but I don't really care too much about Mars. Then you look at the other thing that I didn't really care too much about was our foreign policy. Like I let them war. If the Middle East wants to war, let them war. Just bear witness, okay? If Ukraine and Russia wants to continue the conflict, let them war. I don't really care about none of this, okay? I really want the United States to just not have anything to do with the rest of the world. I want the U.S. to be the new Switzerland. We're neutral. We're staying out of it. And, that I'm for. Like, I really just don't care about, being a part of the global society if they're not going to respect our values. You're not going to keep treating our people like we are just a bunch of machines. Yeah, no, you're not going to have us go to work so you can get all of this money. Amy Coney Barrett votes against freezing the foreign aid. He doesn't have the authority to do that as the commander in chief. Your commander in chief, Amy Coney Barrett? Really? That's what you're going to do? I mean, frankly, I just think that was a spiteful move. I don't think that she liked that he pointed out how happy he was that the Supreme Court acknowledged his authority, and she just comes out of nowhere and says she's going to go against it. Listen, at the end of the day, that speech was fantastic. You're seeing a lot of reactions to this. Greenland's prime minister or president, whatever you want to call him, is saying that Greenland doesn't want to be a part of it, that they are not U.S. citizens. They don't want to be U.S. citizens. You have Jasmine Crockett cussing up a storm, saying that she wants Trump to stop being Putin's hoe. I mean, just so ratchet, so ghetto. I mean, this is ridiculous. They don't know how to act. They really just don't know how to act. You saw how truly demonic and globalist the Democrats were. All it did was really expose the Democrats and list out what America First has actually done. They've exposed the fraud. Okay? They've exposed the fraud. And they're trying to continue with that they are doing something about illegal immigration, that they're closing the borders, they're actually doing something to protect the people. And people are just getting pissed about that. The Democrats are pissed about this. And this is exactly what the American people wanted, okay? English is the official language of the United States. I've had comments, people were saying that this is an asinine executive order, that it's a complete waste of time. No, what should be considered a waste of time is the president of the United States having to come out with an executive order that says there are only two genders. That sounds asinine. That if someone from 100 years ago were to travel to the future and find out that this is even a thing, and there are people in America who are that old, they're 100 years old, World War II generation, still alive, some of them still alive, I wonder what they think about this. The fact that that even has to be an executive order is ridiculous. The fact that we have to say we want to keep boys out of girls' sports is kind of ridiculous, but this is what they're doing, okay? And we have to bring common sense back to our civilization. We have to bring strength and civility back to our society. We have to restore the United States to what the founders had envisioned, okay? Strengthening and empowering and, doing what's best for the people and not by strengthening and empowering the government. It was never meant to be this big. I don't feel sorry for federal workers being laid off. I don't feel sorry about it. I don't at all. Like, at all. I don't feel sorry about it. It's like, oh, Arshel, well, you know what it is to be told you're non-essential. I'm a private citizen who works for the private sector, okay? I would love the private sector to grow. I don't need the government to grow, okay? You're just not going to convince me that we're all safe if the government continues to get bigger. Nowhere in the history of governments that we understand, historically speaking, that anytime a government got too big, did it work out for the people. It doesn't work out that way. It just never does. A government gets too big, okay, too big for their britches, and guess what? Eventually, the society falls apart anyway, because the government gets too big. Okay? We know why they're defending government. They want government to get bigger because it means more money for them. Dan Crenshaw, Jasmine Crockett, they love the idea of being in there for as long as Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They love the idea of that. We're over it. We're over it. Yeah, nah, we're over it. Okay? This was a strong speech. I think he did a fantastic job. People can be upset about it all they want. English is the official language of the United States. There are only two sexes. There are there's men and there are women. Okay? We are done just giving foreign aid to countries who have absolutely no respect for our citizens. Bring on the tariffs because, frankly, I'd rather tax the rest of the world than be taxed myself as an American citizen. That is a new phenomenon that came about in the last century. This is not how our country made money. This is not how our citizens were treated. And that happened in the last century. So if Trump wants to do something about that, we should go ahead and let him do that. Okay? I don't see that many Black Americans out here fighting for the federal workers to keep their damn jobs. No one wants that. I don't want a big government. I don't want big government. No one wants big government. Okay? The only people who are advocating for that are socialists. Okay? They're socialist commies. They want the government to have more control over their lives. And we just don't want that. It's antithetical to being an American. Like, what country do you think you're living in? Okay, that was never the point. It was never the point, okay? It was never the point that the bureaucracy got so large that citizens can't live their lives. For every new policy that's created, 10 go away. Thank you. Thank you. He's going after the Department of Education. I just saw that in my newsfeed earlier today, so I'm going to be seeing what matters with that. He's not afraid to go up against these Democrat governors and mayors who are putting citizens at risk to prioritize illegals. Billions of dollars spent on illegals. This is what we're talking about, and this is what we're dealing with, and this is what we're trying to get rid of. That speech was fantastic. Anybody who had an issue with that, well, take that up with another commie, because frankly, we're loving it, okay? Majority of the American people responded well to this. They did not respond well to the Democrat antics. They didn't like it. They felt that they were just being incredibly disrespectful. They were not respectful to the families of the individuals who lost their loved ones to illegal immigration. They did not respect Bobby Kennedy. They did not respect that young man who survived brain cancer, who wants to be a police officer, the young man who's going to West Point, that the military has increased its recruiting because it's awesome. Yo, if they weren't putting women in combat, I'd go to the Navy. Like, I want to be an ensign. Like, that's just, I'm a Star Trek fan, so call me Ensign Archie. Like, that was my thing. But I don't want to be in combat, so yeah, no, I'm not with it. But go ahead, do your thing if you're the woman that wants to. Love this speech. Loved it. Was amazing. I cannot wait to see how this is going to lay out moving forward. I think that this is going to be a tremendous occasion moving forward, just to see every other thing that he's going to be doing. Every time he takes a hit at the fraudulent behavior of the bureaucracy in our government, every single time we see illegals getting deported, every single time he finds himself in court with these Democrats. Frankly, I'm ready for some arrests, okay? Go after these governors, these mayors. Arrest them. Send them to jail. Like, go for it. If they're willing to go to jail for illegals, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do it. I'm sure Chicago would love to see Brandon Johnson arrested in chains. They would love to see that. I'd love to see it, right? Governor Hochul, she wants to protect illegals. Let him, arrest him. Like I said, I wanted them to do this. I want you to resist America First agenda just so we have a reason to come for you. This speech lets it known. We drinking milk out here. We got backbones out here. We willing to do something. We drinking milk, America, okay? We're strengthening our backbone. That is what's happening. You're not playing games with us anymore, okay? We know what it is to have a real leader, okay? Trump, that's a man right there. You saw how he was with Zelensky. Stop talking. You're not gambling with World War III. You're not going to put my citizens at risk. You're not going to keep taking our money. You're not going to keep doing that. And the bureaucrats in government, I'm coming for you too. 360-year-old on Social Security? Me think not. So go ahead. Have your antic moments. Be ridiculous. Be ratchet, Jasmine Crockett. None of it is going to change. You have no leverage. But America first, we have everything. So I'm looking forward to this. You guys get in the comments and let me know what you thought about the speech. I absolutely loved it. I will be doing an episode tonight, not about the speech, but about the hearing with the mayors, because oh my goodness, that was fantastic. Loved everything about that. And I just can't wait to cover that as well. So I'm going to cover that today on Archie's Briefings. But today, you guys, for this coffee time that we're doing right now, just wanted to say, love the speech. Thought it was funny. We got the guy that we wanted, okay? He was forceful. He was funny. He was the guy we elected, okay? Don't shy away. Call that woman Pocahontas. No, we're not giving money to Ukraine anymore. No, we're not going to sacrifice our values so we could be friends on the global stage. Yeah, nah. You don't respect me. I'm not going to keep giving you money. It is as simple as that. And that is the case not only with the foreign governments, it's also true with the US government. You don't want to respect my people. We're going to shrink you down to size. So now you're forced to contend with the force that is we, the people, the American people. So very excited to move forward with this administration. Man hadn't even been there for 2 months and already so much is happening. Some things are getting delayed. I'd like to see some arrests here. I'd like to see some more deportations. And obviously, we'd like to see some more with the economy. I think that's coming, especially because he declared a national emergency on the energy. So I'm very excited to see how this goes forward. Get in the comments, let me know. God bless you guys. Good afternoon. By the time this thing's posted, good afternoon. I'm going to get my coffee because I've been talking for a minute. But love you guys. I will see you tonight on Archie's Briefings. Have a good one. Good afternoon. See you later. God bless.